Hello, true duelists. My name's Craig Fee. Welcome to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Update. And of course, here's what's made news this week. The ban list arrives out of the blue, and the general consensus is, that's it, huh? YCS Anaheim wraps up the Year of Fire with a sizzle after a little bit of oops all Ryzeal. Someone make sure the interns are okay. A good idea slipped by Konami HQ, and Fuwalos is getting an affordable reprint. You think you're fucking safe, you piece of shit? Fuck you. Happy Friday the 13th to all the black cats out there, or whoever enjoys this day. But it's a terrible day for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community in the sense that the unlucky curse of the superstitious worst day of the year luck-wise reared its head to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Ban list. And you might be thinking, what the hell are you talking about? The Yu-Gi-Oh! Ban list was dropped on the Sunday before Friday the 13th. It had nothing to do with the ban list, but I would disagree because I said so, and because it's Friday the 13th and I feel compelled to make that work in this video somehow. Announced mere hours before it would drop, Konami decided to end the last YCS of the year with a bang by releasing the ban list immediately after the finals of YCS Anaheim. And you won't believe it, but the Year of Fire is at long last at an end. Because after slow rolling the community by telling us about such riveting changes, such as the Dragon Rulers being back at 3, Pankratops going to 3 when Fenrir is in the game, or the jump scare of unlimiting opening of the Spirit Gates to buff Yubel, the semi-limits would continue to slow roll us, with such game changers as the level 3 dangers going to 2, and Cyberjar back and ready to do absolutely fuck all. No, the meat of the ban list would come with the limits and bans, as is really tradition, because with a limit to Phantom of Yubel to more meaningfully hit the actual deck, and I guess to not completely fuck over the beasts, the legendary beasts, or whatever they are, the shitty god cards from GX, they get to, you know, play with their cards again. That's cool. And then, of course, there was the outright slaughtering of Tenpai by limiting both Chandra and Sangenkaimen, which was met with, no joke, thunderous applause.
All right, I got some limits. Let's start with Tenpai Dragon Chandra. Apologies to our runner-up.
And because Konami loves to keep us happy, they brought something back to the game that was previously banned, and that would be Zodiac
Barrage.
I swear to God, when he said that on stream, I thought he said broad and then just didn't say bull. But no, it's Zodiac Barrage is going to 1 in a format where Dryden and Broad Bull are still banned, and I'm pretty sure Rat is still at 1 too, so, you know, Zoo's back in the metaphysical sense where it's Ryzeal and not Zoo, but whatever. The bans were met with some amount of cheer as well, banning Gimmick Puppet Nightmare and Jowgen the Spiritualist, because brain-dead players deserve to die in the regards to the competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Scene, and the Spy Kids reference in Yu-Gi-Oh! That will no longer be a thing is of course dead because, well, OSS is dead. It's dead. The linchpin that made Diabellstar and Wanted so desirable for countless decks, including Fire King, Rescue Ace, TG, Infernoid, and anything playing Jet Synchron, is now banned, completing the trilogy of Konami making affordable reprints from rarity collections useless on the immediate following ban list. But hey, Bonfire is still played in Ryzeal, so no complaining. The general consensus on the ban list is that the delivery was absolutely fantastic, and it was incredibly hyped to see on stream and seeing the reaction from the crowd to the desired hits happening. Jerome played it great. The delivery on Tonight. A1, tier 0 delivery on that shit. Nothing short of iconic, really. But the list itself? Yeah. I've barely heard any talk about the list because while the letters on the ban list do tell you about the things that have changed, they do spell out the names of the new cards that are banned, limited, semi, and unlimited. Really, what they spell out most clearly to the entire community at large is buy crossover breakers. Because the most consistent take I was seeing from players, competitive players heading into the event, was that Ryzeal and Malice are strong decks, but not the absolute best thing that you can be playing definitively no contest tier 0 strong. They were just good in the current meta. And so they didn't really need a big, strong ban list to kill the former meta. And then they killed part of the former meta by really eliminating Snake Eye and Tenpai. So it's another case of all that changes stays the same, because there's a new best deck. It's really pricey, and fuck you. You should have bought it, and it should have inherently known. But hey, I am very glad to see Fire and Tenpai go. They're stale and annoying, respectively. It's not my most fun dueling against them, but it's the case of if your hopes were to get a more balanced format out of the ban list, well,
fuck you, blow me.
Exactly. It follows the trend of Konami hitting things like a year too late, like they did with the Wind Barrier statue or Mystic Mine and a handful of other cards people will bicker about undoubtedly. It's nice to see them hit, but branded isn't a threat anymore. That wasn't the big problem in this format. And when you compare this list to the Master Duel one that brought back things like Masterpiece, Nightmare Goblin, and other banned cards, this is straight up pathetic. Master Duel has 3 Barrage, 3 Trident, and no one cares. It's irrelevant. So giving us 1 Barrage with no proper payoff isn't exactly exciting, especially when you compare the banned Trident to the legal Dreadnator or whatever the fuck its name is. And the irrelevant monkey board going to 2? Wow, Mom, get the camera. Who gives a shit? Take a picture of something else. You can put that card to 6 copies and make a rule change about how this game functions, and it won't make Pendulum decks any better. But Snake Eye's gone, Tenpai is gone, and the people crying that Little Knight would be banned were proven objectively wrong, so it's not terrible. All in all, I don't know, like a 5 out of 10 list, powerfully forgettable compared to what we saw last time around, especially when you take into account all of the relentless vomiting horses. And that ban list was, of course, as said, following YCS Anaheim, the last event of 2024, and the streamed event that was surprisingly enjoyable for a North American stream. It's hard to say for sure whether it was the new host, the general vibe of the players with new decks to be watched, played, and enjoyed, or the fact that the Wi-Fi cutting in and out made you really cherish the few times you got to watch what was going on. Some notable things at the event include, of course, the sous ship player of legend, playing dressed in chef attire and on the most appropriate board that a sous ship player could play on. Even better, he was apparently playing Ryziel Primite sous ship, which was on stream, I believe, in round 1, which is a more viable and, if nothing else, interesting version of that deck. This is what makes American events fun, of course, because if you tried this in Europe, you would be immediately denied and arrested, and your family would be deleted, or something like that. Because personality is, of course, illegal in the European Union, all European countries must be equally bland and forgettable. I don't know. There was, of course, my favorite way to track information ever revealed at this YCS as well, because one Ritual Beast player was using a Guess Who board to keep track of which monsters he had special summoned. The names were written on top of the little, tabs to flick down, and it didn't interrupt gameplay, so it was technically within policy. And apparently a judge saw it and approved of it, so on some amount of play, it's legal. You can do it. With this modern and innovative innovation, Ritual Beast turns could now take as few as 14 minutes to get through their combo, a revolutionary new standard for the deck that's known for its long turns and the game known for its long turns. But beside the neat things and happenings, it was the meta that was most of note to players, because as mentioned in the ban list segment, there are new toys in town, and boy did they shake up the meta. Taking a look at top 32, 2 things might jump out at you. One could be the fact that there's only 1 Snake Eye deck in all of top 32, putting it on par with Voiceless Voice and Memento. How the mighty have fallen. And that's because there's actually one thing that does jump out at you, and it's the fucking robot. Ryziel showed itself to be an immediate power player, getting 14 out of the top 32 spots, and Malice is in second with 7, as the 2 most represented decks, making it a very strong showing for crossover breakers. Also, if you think Ryuj or whatever that deck's name exists, you're wrong. Behind that is the Fiendsmith, which had half the tops it got at the YCS Bologna, the event which Fiendsmith won, mind you, and then Tenpai and Yubel. And if you follow the top charts, you'll see the robot stay strong and dominant, with it being more than half of top 16, more than half of top 8, 3 of the top 4 slots, and to symbolize it killing the old meta, it beat out Tenpai in the finals before the ban list beat out Tenpai from this game in any capacity. And to make it a truly memorable event and hell of a way to cap off the year, the winner, who was playing that Ryziel deck that won, is none other than YouTube's own Triff Gaming. Yeah, That guy won a YCS of 1,400 players. The loudest pendulum player and the sentient meme himself won the event with Ryziel before having a push-up contest with the host of the stream because Triff. Let's go! Hey, hearty congratulations to Triff, of course, for the win, who had promised to retire if he wasn't able to win a YCS in 2024. As to whether or not that was something he sincerely meant and planned to follow through on, or was simply a Twitter user doing Twitter things, we'll never know. What we do know is that there's a new meta here, and it is, of course, rank 4s all the way down. It's not really a new meta if you played in 2014 like I did, though. However, if you admit publicly that you played in 2014, you are certifiably a grandfather. So take from that what you will. Fiend Smith, of course, was in a number of the Ryziel decks because, of course, it's obligatory, not unlike Triff playing the obligatory Gaga Cowboy in his side deck. Jokingly, of course. The next YCS won't be until February of 2025 in Orlando, Florida, and Europeans will have one in February as well, but in the city of Birmingham, which, I don't know, Peaky Blinders reference goes here or something to that. I don't know. Were they in Birmingham? I'm saying that. I don't know. There won't be a new ban list in between now and then because we just got one, and the only set to be coming out will be Supreme Darkness, which doesn't seem primed to shake up the meta much. And when you take into account that Tenpai got the United Healthcare CEO treatment by Konami, I suspect that we'll be seeing a lot of similar pie charts from this event in the next one, that being, of course, a lot of fucking robots. And stop the fucking presses. Fuwalos has been confirmed to be not only getting a reprint, but an affordable one. That's right, instead of pulling the 3 sets where Fuwalos is thrown in with the lowest chance of getting it to not meaningfully reduce the price of the card at all, Konami has instead decided to be a decent fucking company and include it in the upcoming Quarter Century Stampede, as confirmed by the K-Man in their latest update to the description of the set. They, of course, missed the chance to print this card as one of the nostalgia cards, which would have been ridiculously funny, but in doing so, it means that you can realistically get yourself some super rare birdies for fucking $20 soon enough. I'm sure after that set has been printed, Pret has been scented. What is speaking? Praise be. That's what the text says on the screen. Other cards included in the core set, meaning the ones coming in the 7 rarities that include the Quarter Century Secret Rare unless they already have one like Fuwalos, include Raging Phoenix of the Salamangreat variety and Chamber Dragon Maid. And in the Nostalgia pool, we now have confirmed reprints of Trap Dust Shoot and Metamorphosis, 2 pricey cards for older formats. They did say that they were surprised by which cards got voted for, which, if you aren't aware, is corporate speak for holy fuck, that's a lot of votes for Air Neos. But they did confirm Petite Moth, which is funny, and Lovely Labyrinth and Masterpiece, presumably in celebration of the Master Duel ban list, because what is the TCG doing? Which is a promising start to the set, and we should all remember this and the excitement behind it when we buy the set and then pull nonsense like Catchy Kochi Dragon or whatever other garbage they fluff the set with. Still, it won't stop me from buying it because the birdie alone will make the price worth it, or I'll die trying, or something to that effect. I don't know, that's it. Fuck yeah, Fuwalos affordable. Praise motherfucking Xenu. In OCG news, they're announced that they're getting their ban list revealed on the 22nd of this month, which will almost certainly be boring compared to the Master Duel one because the TCG list was, and it got rid of like the most hated deck of the year in the form of Fire, and even still people are like, yep, that was a ban list, and I bet you the OCG will follow suit because they do shit like semi-limiting SP Little Knight. OCG just does things. Fundamentally, it doesn't matter what you do on your ban list because the one that moves like 5 banned cards into fully playable is way more interesting and noteworthy than the one that lightly taps the meta and puts the robot to 2, as if that's not the amount that's being played. But that's just OCG shit. I mean, come on, look at the Master Duel one. Orcust is back, guys. I swear it's not copium. Also from Japan this week was the reveal of the next name for the next deck build pack, that being Justice Hunters. And that's all that's known about it. So we can get excited for the next set of Dragon, Anime Girl, and Robot, because if it's not broke, don't fix it. And like half the deck build packs are, the most recent one we got was literally Dragon Anime Girl Robot. The most shocking thing was that robots were the best of it. That's unprecedented in some capacity, right? And that's all there is from the OCG this week. So allow me to end this segment with a sensible action of dedicating this segment to one guy from last week's video by smacking the bird, which is not in fact a euphemism for masturbation and is instead, of course, a cry for me to abuse this thing more and more. And who am I other than someone who caters to his audience? And so, to all the haters of this piece of shit, we have the tried and the true. Get the fuck out of here. Get him out of here. He'll walk it off. In business news, there was a little bit of an oopsie whoopsie, an uh-oh spaghetti-o. We're talking about a straight up, did I do that? That's right, Greg Lindbergh, seen here doing his best impression of Nicolas Cage from the film Next, which you might recognize as being a literal bird, is a key investor in Arcane Tinman. The reason that's notable is because Arcane Tinman is the company behind Dragon Shield sleeves, and Lindbergh accidentally, got caught committing a little bit of fraud and laundering to the tune of $2 billion. That is, of course, billion with a B. It's, of course, important to note that he doesn't own the company, though I do believe he owns a majority of shares in it. But the point is, I don't think this should meaningfully affect the company a tremendous amount. I sincerely doubt Birdman invested in it because of his desire to be personally involved with the design and artistry of the plastic that people put their cardboard in. But on the off chance that this does affect that, there you go. I don't know, stock up on Dragon? I'm not telling you to do shit, actually. Fuck that. Just some mild white-collar crime, or as it's known in the modern day, whoops, a bit of an odd geez. And so that wraps it up for this week's update. As always, I've been your host, me, Craig V. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Not only will you be impressing your smoking Italian wife, you might even one day learn what that joke references. If you're watching it, you don't. Yeah, but who knows? You never know. You have to subscribe to find out or something. And of course, once you subscribe, you'll become a true duelist. And there's nothing better than that. That's not true. There's one thing better than that, isn't there, folks? There's one little thing we all love a little bit more than that, huh? There's one thing that gets the bugging juices flowing and the balls moving and the other shit, and it's this right here. You know how we like to end videos. See you next week.